vortex. So I was just thinking about how everything's a scene, you know? Like, when I started doing stand-up comedy about 7 years ago, I think. I started in the summer of 2016, late July, I believe. And I remember noticing pretty much immediately that there was like this whole slew of people that thought that they were so cool because they did stand-up comedy, right? Now, any actual comedian will laugh when I say this. Doing stand-up comedy is nothing to be proud of, okay? It's not. It's not. That means that you have failed at other things. And you obviously need some sort of comeback, you know? Like, just watching these older ladies do comedy last night, and they were actually pretty fun. Well, one of them was actually funny. The other three were like, but they had some jokes. I will applaud anybody that writes an actual joke, okay? And I think that it's somewhat of a dead art form because people don't take the time to not only write jokes, but like pay attention to all the different angles that they could look at something from. Like, so basically the reason why I'd say I'm pretty good at it, okay? Pretty good at it. Well, like, I think that the reason for that is because I don't follow the rules. And I don't subscribe to, like, the same sort of dead-end philosophy that it seems so many people have subscribed to in this country. And so, because of that, I have a lot more things to say than most people that have subscribed to a dead-end philosophy, whichever one that is. Something I've noticed, because as a practicing schizophrenic, I need to say that because that's funny. As a practicing schizophrenic, we do this thing called double bookkeeping. I don't do it now anywhere near as much as I did when I was an alcoholic, because I was stealing a bunch of shit and sleeping with random people that I'd meet outside of a bar, and you know, so I had a lot of tabs to keep on myself, you know? That's what it means. Because what, if you're bookkeeping, that means that you're, you know, keeping tabs on the funds and where they're going, and managing things, right? Well, it's weird because, you know, I think that in order to be a bookkeeper, I was telling this to my mom yesterday because she's all upset because my brother forgot her birthday again. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's not going to remember. But he's also a man. Most men don't remember anything like that. I know I shouldn't say that about my brother, but he's a narcissist. All narcissists get the same treatment, okay? Like, there is a bit of pity there. I feel sorry for them because I know at some point when they were a child, they were neglected. That's the commonality between every single narcissist. Neglect. You can go one of two ways with this. You can feel entitled, or you can develop more empathy for everybody. And sadly, the entitlement is what is encouraged. The victimhood is what is encouraged. Not growing up, making your own assessment of things, understanding your experience, feeling empowered by your knowledge of things, feeling empowered by wisdom, feeling empowered by solidarity, you know? I feel like what makes cluster B people so crazy, that's the cluster B personality types, what makes them so crazy, the narcissistic personalities in this class, what makes them so crazy is the fact that they don't have any kind of solid foundation. So it's like they're so insecure. And they make this blatantly obvious too, and they think that nobody knows. They don't have any self-awareness, so. But it's like, if there's no foundation, then any form of criticism, any form of questioning, any form of like misunderstanding or whatever, they're gonna take that shit to heart because they don't have anything, they don't have a leg to stand on, basically. So like I've seen it happen with my brother so many times where like my mom will just ask him a question, and you know, I know women are really annoying. They ask a bunch of questions that are totally unnecessary, trust me. Like it is frustrating, right? And my mom doesn't seem to have any awareness of this and like how annoying it is to everybody else. But like women have the tendency to just ask the same question over and over and over again because they want to feel important. And I've noticed though that my brother is just like if she asks him anything, like, are you tired? You know, she'll just ask him that, and he'll get so angry and act like it's the third degree, you know, like, just offended. Like, he gets so easily offended. And he just, like, really treats her horribly. And so that's why I don't like him very much. But at the same time, it's like, it's my parents, you know? They're our parents. And I think that I was always, like, obstinate towards things that they told me to do. Whereas, like, he always took their advice and he's, like, so miserable. Whereas I was like, I'm just going to do the opposite of that because, you know, they believe in modern medicine, which means they can't be trusted. Like, I kind of figured that, like, when I was a kid. And it wasn't anything against them. It was just like, yeah, I don't trust authority figures. And that's, like, deeply ingrained in me. How did I get on this topic? Because you started to shit talk your brother. I do feel somewhat guilty about that. Like, I don't want to have that opinion of him, but at the same time, like, I want him to be a better person, and he's not, and he just keeps getting worse. So, like, oh yeah, I was talking about double bookkeeping. My mother used to be a bookkeeper, and she's like, I don't understand, like, why this is why women don't have self-awareness. She said, I don't understand why women, or she didn't say women, I don't understand why I remember dates and times, but my husband and my son don't remember dates and times. I'm like, it's because you're a woman. Like, women have a knack for details, you know? And I'm like, that's why you're a good bookkeeper, and that's why women make good wedding planners, and that's also why they're good at being, like, psychotic stalkers, because they can, like, notice things that, like, they notice all these little things that men don't notice, because men are more concerned about, like, you know, completing a task, whereas women will, like, she'll be, you know, focused on all these things that seem like they're totally irrelevant, but they're not irrelevant to her, you know? And I think that that's the whole issue between the sexes. Like, there's this whole, like, disconnect. It's just like men don't understand women and women don't understand men, and I don't really think that, I think that men understand men better than women understand women. And so why are we listening to women again? Why are we thinking that they should have a say in what happens in the world if they don't even understand the way that they operate and why they operate that way? It's just my own side rant. But anyway, if I seem like a misogynist, it's because I want what's best for women. It's not because I want them to be miserable, okay? They actively choose things that make them more and more miserable. It's kind of amusing, but it's also really, really sad.